how are you, Brittany? Thank you very much. I'm going to, as Brittany said, my name is Isla Vasallo, and I'm going to be providing a brief update on the Policy and Government Relations Committee. I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully you can all see that. So let's talk policy. Wait a minute. Maybe not. Trying to go to the next slide. It's not working. Sorry, do it the old-fashioned way. I co-chair the Government and Policy Relations Committee with Valerie Brown, and our purpose is to consider TCS's mission and priorities, and then track local and state policies, reporting on those policies, and advocating for those policies at the state level. At the more local level, we really want to encourage, action through change through municipal government adoption of resolutions and ordinances. And as a starting point for that, at the local level, we can use Sustainable Jersey actions as a starting point. And Gwen just gave us a master class in how to be so active at the local levels. Some of the state level bills that we're tracking are the Green Amendment, which proposes a modification to the New Jersey Bill of Rights to include the right for all individuals to clean air, clean water, and a healthy environment. The Food Waste Committee is looking at several bills having to do with composting on site at community gardens and not requiring certain permits, DEP permits. They're also looking at allowing schools to receive certain food waste from other schools. The Shade Tree Committee is tracking a Vegetation Management and Response Act. And then there's a low carbon concrete bill, which encourages the use of low carbon concrete. And one of its authors is our very own Sean Moen. And even listening to the other guests this evening, I know Yvette mentioned a bill or two related to solar, and I saw that Isabel put up S3305, and it escapes me right now what that was related to, but there's always a lot going on. So there's stuff going on at the state level that we're looking at, and I'm also encouraging folks to get involved at the local level. And at the local level, Sustainable Jersey can be an excellent starting point for, as I said, change through resolutions and ordinances. There is, if you're interested in seeing what other towns have done in terms of passing Sustainable Jersey actions related to ordinances and resolution, there's a great map that they have that you can search by actions and see what other towns have done. And I also have, the next slide is a list of over 20 Sustainable Jersey actions related to ordinances, policies, resolutions, and there's one or two in there related to master plan elements. Yeah, so there's all this information that is out there. Getting into the policy at local level, as we heard from Gwen, is a way to learn new things about how government functions, and yeah, you can make a change right at the local level. Some ways to stay engaged are to join the discussion, take action, make an impact via TCS Discord, the policy channel. You can email info@tcsahub.org, attention Isla V, or I think someone's going to put my email in the chat. New Jersey Legislature has a website, And ANJAC, which is the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions, is also a great resource because they track and advocate for bills at the state level. Okay, so, and speaking of, let me close this. Speaking of engaging at the local level and advocating for change, I'd like to introduce Alex Balmer. Alex is on the board of Sustainable South Jersey and is here to say a few words about his township's success. His township is Cherry Hill with community choice aggregation. Alex?
All right, thank you, Ella. Happy to talk about it. It's an exciting thing that was just passed in Cherry Hill. So first, to explain what community choice aggregation, or also sometimes called community energy aggregation, is. It sounds complicated, but I like to think of it really just as setting up a grocery store of electricity for your town. Kind of the same as you know, especially at this time of year, don't go to a farm to buy tomatoes. You probably also, it's not the most efficient way to buy electricity to try to go and figure out which of the electricity generators is kind of the best fit for you. So this sets up something where the town hires a third-party broker who will go and look at purchasing electricity for all the town residents, and we'll figure out how to get the best price for the town for electricity. So with that, the towns typically hire, for, if you want to look into it more, a company like Good Energy, or another example is Power Brokers, to go purchase energy on behalf of the town. And then the second part that is the environmentally friendly part, and the probably part that's interesting to this group, is that the bill, or the ballot measure, also included a renewable energy portfolio standard. So there will be requirements for Cherry Hill to, once they enact this, to start purchasing at least 60% renewable energy initially, and then ramping up to purchasing 100% renewable energy by 2030. I think, as we heard just a little about with the assemblyman, there is a state renewable energy portfolio standard as well, but that sets the goal for 20 or 35% of the energy in the state to be renewable by 2025 and 50% by 2030. So what passed in Cherry Hill is a lot more aggressive than that, and will help the town transition quicker to renewable energy. Just a little detail on how that works. So the third-party broker will be purchasing electricity on behalf of the residents, and then they'll also need to purchase renewable energy credits, which are also sometimes called RECs, and those are what documents that the town is purchasing renewable energy. That is probably the kind of one downside to the program, is I think the town will definitely save money, and there's other examples of energy aggregation where you get a better price by purchasing in bulk, but there will be an additional cost for buying the additional renewable energy credits. So it's kind of to be seen how that will balance out, but I think that is the one potential downside of this type of program. But to look on the plus side of this, and kind of the best news here, is this did pass by a ballot measure. This was put on the ballot due to a petition that was started by Food and Water Watch a few years back. And about a year ago, they had gathered enough signatures that the Cherry Hill City Council voted on the measure, and they did not vote to adopt it. So because they voted not to adopt it, it went to a ballot measure. And then once it was on the ballot this fall, it passed with 70% of the vote for it, which I was really happy to see, and I think that's amazing to get that big a majority for something like this. The ballot measure was pretty wonky, and I think the main kind of takeaway, if you were someone who didn't know anything about this reading it, was that if you voted for this, it would support renewable energy in the town. So I really think it shows there's a lot of community support for renewable energy and for trying to transition to greener sources of energy. I think that's just great credit to a lot of the people on this call that have advocated for that and helped educate the community. So I'm just, excited to get the chance to share. I think it's something that can be adopted by other towns as well. And I think it does, have a very, very big impact on lowering pollution from fossil fuel plants and from carbon emissions. So I appreciate getting the chance to share. I will put my email in the chat as well. If you do have more questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Alex. I am going to be talking to you some more because I want to do this in my community. So thanks again. Okay, next up, I'm going to switch gears a little bit from policy to green teams. I love that so many green teams and environmental commissions in the TCS region are sustaining their commitment to sustainability day in and day out at the local level. It's not always easy. So I've invited Laura Caralfi from Sustainable Audubon. Hi, Laura, to say a few words this evening about their Meatless Mondays initiative. Glad you can make it.
Thank you, Isla. Happy to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about Sustainable Audubon in general, and then the purpose of your Meatless Monday initiative?
So Sustainable Audubon, it's like I guess Janine would probably be better to talk on that. Janine Mugler, she knows way more of the history than I do. But I joined I'm a member of the town in Audubon, and I guess it's been about 4 or 5 years now that I saw them at one of the town fairs. And they had a table and I decided to join. And my latest thing has been helping with their Meatless Monday posts. It's been about 10 months now that I've been helping with social media. But Janine probably, I would not do it justice to be able to talk about the full scope of everything. I'm just like a tiny little part of it all.
That's fine. When you started the idea of Meatless Mondays, what impact did you hope to make?
I think we, in general, plant-based eating is supposed to be better for the environment, like saves water, lowers your carbon footprint. And so part of that was just to raise awareness of that and to encourage people by sharing simple recipes that you can make at home. So every Monday we share a recipe with a picture and a link to the recipe so people can try a little bit of plant-based eating.
That's great. And is that how mainly you're getting your message out via social media?
For this, yeah, yes, like Instagram and Facebook is where we're doing the Meatless Monday post.
Okay, and I noticed, I think you're using the hashtag Meatless Monday.
Yeah,
among some of the other ones. And I'm curious, what has been the response?
So it's been positive. We always get comments on our plant-based posts. And we've also had, so there's been about, in the past, we started this 10 months ago, right? So there's been about, every week almost, right? We don't necessarily make one every week, but we've had 33 posts, and there were 9 posts that the people who developed the recipes, they commented on them. As well, which was interesting. Usually we just have members, like our followers comment. So maybe we'll have like 3 to 11 comments, like in an average post. And then we even had one time where the person who had published a book and we used the recipe from like over a decade ago, he sent us a private message and kind of thanked us for sharing the recipe. So, well, we didn't share the recipe, the link to his book, but just that we were encouraging people for plant-based eating, because that's some of the people that we are tagging in these videos are very passionate about plant-based eating. So I think that probably helps with getting feedback.
That's excellent. And if I can put Sustainable Audubon's email, I think it's sustainableaudubon@gmail.com.
Yes.
I can put that in the chat. And do you hope to continue this into the new year?
Yeah, we're not planning to stop anytime soon. It seems to be, getting a lot of attention, and yeah, we're going to keep it going.
Okay, great. And I'm going to share my screen one more time. Hopefully I can do this. I wish I would. And do I have it? Yeah. So this might be a little bit hard to see, but that is an example of one of your posts. It looks like you're offering up chocolate chip blondie cookies that don't contain any eggs or butter. So they look pretty delicious.
And these were for Halloween too. So they were supposed to look a little bit scary, a little, a little creepy.
Okay, yes, I actually see that now that you mentioned. Well, Laura, thank you. Thank you very much. This seems like a simple thing that other towns could do. They can, I'm sure you wouldn't mind if they shared your stuff or contacted Sustainable Audubon to kick something off themselves. So thank you so much for coming out to speak with us tonight.
Thank you, Isla.
Okay, I think I'm going to turn it back to either Chris or Brittany.